welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Yaz, and this is Yaz. You didn't see that? So, y'all, I had to come on here. I know it's during the holiday weekend, so happy Memorial Day weekend to you guys. And tomorrow's the actual holiday where we celebrate our vets. Thank you for your service. But I had to come on here, y'all, over this weekend, and look, I found this show. So, I like true crime, like mysteries. I was always watching CSI, all of the CSIs. I liked all of them, and all of those type shows. But let me tell you, HBO Max, or whatever they calling themselves now. I think it's just Max now because I had to download a new app. But they got this show, y'all. They got this show. So if you like true crime, this one's for you. Let me tell you, I had no idea about some of these stories that they featured on the show. So I think it's I want to say it's like 6 episodes, but it's the show was called, ooh, got hair in my face. So the show is called Death by Fame. Yes, Death by Fame. That's the name of the show. I'm on HBO Max. So if you don't have it, go download the app. If you got cable, that's the channel it's on. So I wanted to talk about two of the episodes that they featured because I had not heard of them before. And this is so Death by Fame is like it tells like stories about crime that has happened like out in Hollywood with celebrities and things. So um, the first episode that I wanted to tell you about was, I don't know if you remember this movie Boys in the Hood. So I'll put a picture of it or you'll see it. So yeah, that Boys in the Hood, remember that? So Cuba Gooding Jr., Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett was in it, Morris Chestnut. So yeah. So in this episode, y'all remember the scene where what's his name, Trey and Ricky. So Cuba Gooding Jr. was Trey in the movie, and then Morris Chestnut was Ricky. So remember when they was walking down that like alleyway or whatever, and these thugs pull up on them, and uh, that famous scene where Trey turns around and he's like trying to warn Ricky like, yo, they watch out. And then Ricky like turns around and starts running. He sees the guy pull the gun out from the car or whatever, and then he gets shot in the back a couple of times. Yeah, so that scene. So the guy who in the movie who actually pulled the gun out and was shooting at him, this is his story. So first off, y'all, I was spoiling for y'all. So if you ain't seen it, I mean, you might want to skip past or whatever. You might want to skip this video if you have not seen it. But if you were interested in seeing it and you don't want no spoilers, then I suggest you keep on, scrolling on. But I'm about to tell it. So, fair warning. So his character, I don't remember his name in the movie, but he's real famous for pulling the gun out, and it was like a red car or something, and he pulled the gun out and shot Ricky in the back, and over some beef or whatever I guess it was, or some incident that they had. So, but his story was that he grew up out in California. He went to like a good school, so he was on the right path, and then things took a turn for the worse. So once he got cast in Boys in the Hood, he was portrayed as a gangster or whatever, and not a gangster, but in a gang. And so after that movie came out, he got a little success or whatever. He was in some other movies, but they kept like choosing him for like the gang characters. And so that saying how art imitates life. Yeah, well, this is one of those situations where the art was imitating the life, and they said that he was hard to work with. When he was filming movies, he was just going down like spiraling or whatever, and like he couldn't really separate himself from the quote unquote gang life or whatever, that he was just portraying in the movie to with his real thing. So eventually he started going dabbling in the real life, real life gang. Like know, he found some peoples, and so he ended up basically killing some folks, and uh, he went to trial, I think, and yes, he did. He went to trial, and what else happened that made this interesting? So he tried to say that he wasn't in the area of where these two people that he allegedly killed, died at. But come to find out, he was using the same gun or whatever, and they ended up convicting him. And so the kicker was that he was out here trying to play hard, and you know it just wasn't going well for him, and he was still he was still getting cast in movies. Could you believe it? So yeah. So in the end, so where he got sentenced, they sent him to prison out in Pelican Bay. So you know Pelican Bay. If you know, out in California, and that's like a supermax prison where just the crazy of the crazy be at. And so they sent him there, and then they put him in the cell with this crazy dude who he did some ungodly stuff to his sister, poor thing. And you know they threw him up under the jail, so they only allowed him to be in the cell by himself until dude from Boys in the Hood came, and they put him, because he was convicted of like a double homicide or something. He killed two people. And so they put him in the cell with this crazy dude who had been in, like I said, he did some ungodly stuff to his sister. And they said he was one of them, devil worshippers. So, I guess his time there, he wasn't even there long. But, yeah, that's the cat. So he wasn't there long. And then the cellmate ended up killing him. And when I tell you, they said they didn't find that man's body for 2 days. The cellmate had killed him, laid him out in the middle of the floor of their cell in some kind of like pentagram, something they said. And it was like drawn in blood. It was blood all over the place. And how you ain't find nobody in 2 days? You ain't never went to go check on that man. But anywho, so his cellmate ended up killing him, so he died. I don't want to say he died the way he lived, but some was saying, in the movie or the series or whatever, that probably was something like set up, because he thought he was going to get away with the crimes that he committed because he was famous. And they, I guess they was trying to teach him a lesson, allegedly. And yeah, so they put him in that cell with that man. And that man said, "Oh no, I do not want no other roommates up in here. Dude, oh no, oh no, oh no." So that was the first one. Now, the second one was about, so you remember the group? I'm going to put the picture up there, but the group is called High Five. They sang, what they sing? She's playing hard to get. Remember that song? Yeah, that's the song. But don't come for me, because I know I can't sing. But so this group, so they was really popular in the 90s. And actually, by the way, the first thing happened, it was like late 90s, like 99 kind of thing. Because I think I was, like still in college when this was happening. But I don't remember the story. But so the High Five guy, so one of the members, and let me tell you, I did not know that it was like so much trouble. They had so much like stuff happen to them. It was just sad. And they had a couple of members die, and they was just doing all the wrong things. But this dude, so he was from Texas, and He was living, this was after, fame had died down. He was just, still living off royalties from, the albums and everything. And so he meets this girl at the strip club, and they start talking, dating, and they start dating after a little while or whatever, blah blah blah. Things is hunky dory, da 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 da. Then she moves in with him, and she's just trying to get her life together, and she's on the come up. She wasn't trying to be on the pole forever, and um, what did they say? So they had their ups and downs. He was one of those that liked to throw hands, and she wasn't having it, and they was back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, all of that make up the breakup stuff. Then eventually they had two kids, so they had two boys, and some years they went by. They both older now, and the woman, she decides that okay, she can't take no more of this. She trying to move on with her life, but she still want the father, the guy from the high five group, to still be in the kids' lives. So let me tell y'all, ladies, anytime a man that you have kids with tells you that you have to pay him to watch your own kids, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't. So he was on that kind of stuff, but she was paying because she wanted, him to be with the kids or whatever, while she went and did, ran her errands and that kind of stuff. It was just sad. And so one day, they really, really separated, and she went on, moved on with her life, was doing some things. She was on the come up or whatever, and she started dating this new guy. So the, he found out about it, and I guess he was looking through her phone or whatever, but he found out somehow. They didn't say how, but he found out, and so he was gonna confront her. Now, this is where it took before I even tell you what he did. The sister, they were interviewing the sister, and she was saying that we knew something was up. We kind of really didn't. We had a feeling about him, so we don't know if we really liked him or not, pretty much. And but his brother, so the dude in the group, the music group, his brother went to jail because he killed his kids. He killed his wife and in front of the kids. Like it was just some horrible foolishness. And so yeah, he went and unalived his wife in front of the kids. Now keep that in mind. Now back to his brother, the one that we talking about that was in the group. So he was just like, he found out, he was a little jealous or whatever, and was going to confront the woman now. So I guess he said they was married because he what he did when he went to tell the people what he did, he said his wife. So I guess they might have been married. And then so when he confronted her, she was just like, I ain't trying to hear it. And then he attacked her pretty much, bust upside the head, and then he ended up stabbing her in the back. Yeah, he stabbed her in the back like a lot of times. So he unalived her. And then while the kids was in the house, the kids was in their room. They was young kids, but they heard their mom screaming and all. It was just a horrific scene. So with this, and then what he did was, after he did all of that, in the middle, like early morning hours or whatever, he put a sheet over her, and then he took the kids to school. How you? How you? How you? He took the kids to school after he done unalived their mother, and I guess he went back or whatever, and then you know, yeah, I know, girl. So he went and like I said, took the kids to school, and then came back. I guess he cleaned up or whatever, and then showed up to the police station. I had to pet the cat, y'all, because she gonna be whining, and uh he went to the police station or the sheriff's station or something, and told them, okay, me and my wife, we had a argument, and she is no longer alive at this moment. And they was just like, what? Like, yeah. So they ended up sending the police over to the where they lived or whatever, just to make sure. And so yeah, they found a woman, and she was still there at the house. He had left the weapons there and everything. And but I was just like, how you how you look. They always say that, if you can't deal with a situation, like, don't take it to the extreme. Like, please don't take it to the extreme. Just leave. Just leave. And then, that way, or go kill yourself. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Sorry, I said that. I gotta find a way to take that out. I don't know how I'm gonna take that out. But just don't take somebody else's life. Pretty much is the point that I'm trying to make here. But yeah. So this, so eventually, he went to court or whatever, and they said that he didn't get. I think he only got like 30 years or something. So he didn't get. The family was hoping that he would get like life or whatever because he used two weapons to unalive this woman, and with the kids there in the house, and there was always multiple reports of him. I guess she had called the police a couple of times or whatever. So he was in the system. But yeah, so he did. He got some time, and now both of the brothers they reunited. Now they both in jail for unaliving their wives with the kids in the house. So, but I couldn't believe. I was just like, y'all. I had to come on there, and then so the first picture that I showed was her story. There was a third one. I do remember vaguely of that one because I don't know. This was the time like The Voice was real popular, and I want to say her name was Catherine. So the first picture I showed, that's her singing, and she was like a contestant on The Voice, and she was being stalked and didn't know she was being stalked, and she wasn't. She was just trying to break into fame, to being famous, to be a music, singer or whatever. And what happened with her is she had just finished wrapping up like that show, The Voice, and I think they said that she won third place, and then what else did they say? She went after there. She went like on a little mini tour or whatever, and then they were supposed to. Go home. Her and her brother was supposed to go home. Like her brother was in the band, and he was like the protector or whatever. While she was on the road, because she was still young. She was still a teenager. And what happened with her is when she was down in Florida, and she was doing like she did a little concert, and then she did like a meet and greet right after, and somebody came up to her, and the way the brother was saying it, like just pulled something, looked like he was trying to get something, I guess maybe out of his pocket or whatever, and he unalived that poor teenager right there on the spot. And the people was running around, they were scared or whatever. And then the brother said he chased after the dude, just trying to get the gun away, as he was saying. And then the one that unalived his sister, he unalived himself. And then but people had been calling the cops and everything, so the police was like en route while this was happening and everything, and it was just, oh my God, it was just so sad. When I was hearing the story, I was like, I kind of remember hearing about that on the news, because I remember it because it was down in Florida, and I was just like, ooh, wow. And but yeah, that they had Drew Carey. So Drew Carey, remember Drew Carey from back in the day? He, a comedian. He's a comedian, and he used to have a TV show on. I want to say like the mid '90s, late '90s or so. The Drew Carey show. So he was dating somebody, and you know, she basically everybody in these episodes was unalived, but they had some kind of relation to somebody famous. And so there was, like I said, an episode with Drew Carey. He was dating somebody, and then I guess he kind of really liked. They thought it was gonna be, he was planning to marry her, but things didn't work out. But that was unfortunate. And then there was an episode about some guy from Sons of Anarchy. Like, I ain't into motorcycle shows, so I don't even know, but I remember the show. But yeah, so one of the guys that was on there, so he had an episode. And then who else? So then it was the guy from Boys in the Hood, then the girl from The Voice, the guy from the High Five music group, and I want to say there was, how many was that? because I didn't say a lot. That probably was all of them, but I wasn't keeping track. But I think it was like 5 or 6 episodes. And I was just like, yo, what in Jesus' name? But if you are looking for any kind of like true crime kind of stuff, I suggest, yeah, check that out and, let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you remember hearing about any of these shows? Y'all remember that group High Five? Let me know down in the comments if Boys in the Hood was your movie back in the day. Because I know everybody done seen Boys in the Hood, at least. If you over 40, you done seen Boys in the Hood. So, until next time, peace.